everyone, welcome back to my mixed media art channel. Today I'm going to be working on a Snow White piece, and I did several sketches going into this. This is actually based on a makeup look that I did around Halloween time, and I had taken some pictures. I didn't end up being Snow White for Halloween, but I really wanted to do a piece inspired by her and kind of a little bit more of a modern version of Snow White. And so this is going to be mixed media, but mostly watercolors. I do use some India inks as well, and I really enjoyed making this piece. I'm using a Strathmore visual journal here. They have a watercolor journal that I really like. I love the paper. It's 140 pound cold press, and I've been using it ever since I started art journaling. And it works for the watercolor that I like to do, but also for acrylic paint, as long as you put gesso on it first. So it's just a really hardy paper, and very reliable. So almost from the beginning I had some things go wrong. Like you can see at the bottom kind of where her collar is. I somehow, when I opened a pen, splattered some black ink there. So you'll see later how I try to mask it a little bit with gesso, but yeah, that and a couple of other little spots where it just felt like little things were, little accidents were happening, but it still turned out okay in the end. So basically what I did for that background is I added some India inks, and I a lot of times will put the Dr. P.H. Martin's India inks into Tim Holtz Distress ink stain bottles. Whenever I run out of a distress stain, I always keep the bottle because it has a dauber top, and I really like that versatility, but then you can always take off the top and just use the ink inside with a paintbrush. And so now I'm using a Letraset aqua marker, and you can see at the bottom right of the screen, those are the Derwent Inktense blocks. And one of the cool things that I learned in watching other people's videos is that I used to just pull out the blocks and draw with them, and then you can go over them with water and they become an ink and they're permanent. But then I saw that a lot of people were actually just using a paintbrush with water in it, or an aqua brush like I'm using right now that has water pre-filled in the cartridge part of it, and you can just paint right off of the block itself and pull the color off of it and then put it down on the paper. So it just kind of depends on what effect you want and how intense you want the color to be. So I'm doing that again with her ribbon and using that really bright kind of cherry red color. And now I'm using a Pentel pocket brush pen, which has black India ink in it, and I was getting a little bit impatient excuse me, and this is where I ran into some more trouble. I think I'm so used to being able to paint pretty fast, and even though the video is sped up quite a bit, I really wanted to paint fast with this brush, and I'm pretty new to that brush, so I wasn't really familiar with how the pocket brush would do, and it just kind of taught me that I needed to slow down with it, because if I went too fast, it would kind of skip along the paper and not give the greatest looking marks. It kind of gave the effect, it looked like a marker, like when you were a kid when your marker was running dry, and so not the best look, but I went ahead and added some water, and then you'll see once I let that dry that I went back in with the pocket brush pen and made her hair more black. So the light source here is coming from the right, so you'll see that as far as where the light hits her face and the apple, the lighter parts are going to be on the right. So this was kind of an experiment. I went over the background and her blouse with gesso, and that was partly to get rid of those black marks, but also just to kind of see what the gesso would do over the watercolor. And I liked how it turned out, and it kind of gave it this filmy effect. And I thought since it sort of whitewashed the background and her top, that it would make her face and hair stand out more. So that's the fun thing about mixed media, is just mixing up all these different types of materials and seeing how they work together can be really cool and interesting, and you can always get these unexpected results. So here's where you can see me going back over with the pocket brush pen and trying to take it a little slower. And I'm coming up on the end of the video here. You'll see the final piece here in a sec, and thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. See you next time.